I think what I can do to solve this for you is write you a check for $5 grand, and I can make this ticket go away.
I love you.
Don't kiss me.
I love you.
Okay, I love you too, Tyler.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and this is my big black mistake. It is a 2005 Chevrolet Silverado SS. This is among the most reliable trucks ever built in the history of this earth, the GMT 800 chassis, but it is no match when it comes to rust, unfortunately. I bought this thing, it came from the East Coast, it had a nice body, but the more you poked around underneath, the worse it got. It had the fuel tank falling out of it because of some frame issues. The bed came off the back, we saw the frame issues, and this car, repair-wise, hit a number that I was not comfortable with, and I told the wizard to stop. So I bought this thing for $5,000, making the cheapest Silverado SS for sale in the United States. And well, I've spent more than double that so far fixing it, I think. I haven't gotten the bill from the car wizard yet, but there's still more things to fix. There's a lot of cosmetic issues, and I need to decide if I'm going to go full into this thing with its issues that will never ever be fixed. This will always be a high mileage, kind of edgy SS, or if I just cut my losses at this moment. And the wizard, I guess, he has an opinion, so wizard? But before we try and stop the bleeding on my rusty SS with the car wizard, I'd like to thank Lightstream for sponsoring today's video. Obviously, I have a lot of car debt, and before my YouTube career and with the early YouTube car projects, I was buying car parts and paying the wizard bills on a credit card that I wasn't sure how I was going to pay back. I'm sure most of us have been guilty of our credit cards getting away from us at least a time or two, but if it feels like you are frustrated and stuck in a hole of debt and high interest that you cannot get out of, Lightstream is here to help. Lightstream's credit card consolidation loan can help you pay off those high-interest credit cards fast and help you get more money in your pocket in the process. Lightstream makes the process super simple, and you can even get your money back as soon as the same day you apply. If you are carrying a high balance that you cannot pay off, you are just throwing money away. And Lightstream believes people with great credit deserve a great rate, and that's exactly what they provide. Their loans range from $5,000 to $100,000, and they can roll your cards into one low payment at a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with auto pay and excellent credit. Obviously, this is way lower than most credit cards. So apply now to get a special interest rate discount and save even more. Just go to lightstream.com/Hoovies. That's lightstream.com/Hoovies. Now, this is subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.50% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Hoovies for more information.
Yes, there's wizard. How dare you spend more than the estimate of my money?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Yes.
So what happened?
So your original estimate was what, $2 or $3 grand?
Right.
We just about doubled that.
That's sort of why I'm here. So when you drop the fuel tank out, you're able to look up into what was holding the fuel tank in. Now, originally, when I bought it, it was held in by ratchet straps. We didn't know why necessarily. Maybe the strap had broken, but it wasn't the strap.
Nope, as we took things apart, it just kept getting worse and worse. There was just rust crumbling. You remember you had trouble filling it with gas because it kept popping? The actual fuel pump itself was so rusted on top, the metal parts of it, they were just crumbling and clogging all the lines, and all the cross members were completely just corroded and rusted through. The tank straps were rusted. We had to cut and weld onto the frame. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
So the bed came off, welded all of that, got everything back together, took it to the muffler shop, and now I have a truck that'll take gas. The fuel tank will not fall out of it. The muffler sounds fine, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, but I still have a 190,000 mile Silverado SS that's, well, it's not the prettiest one in the world.
No.
And unfortunately, the previous owner passed away. I got an email from his father. He bought this as a dream truck for working in Alaska and a bunch of different places, I think, as a welder. So he's an enthusiast for these. He was also an enthusiast for making this a giant bong, which explains the smell.
A bong?
Yeah, bong.
Wow.
Yes, so that explains the odor in here.
It does have an odor.
But, you know, serviceable interior, but obviously a long way to go. In addition, you have this hood that's probably not savable, but then it has the rust here, so I was going to replace the hood, the engine bay. I was going to supercharge it because it seemed so cheap to fix, but it didn't turn out it was cheap to fix, huh?
No, not at all.
All right, well, you have the bill for me?
I do have a bill for you.
Okay. So you said it was bad.
Yep.
All that repair and everything else was every bit of $2,500.
Yes,
And
lots of repairs.
The muffler shop was $1,000 for muffler?
He kept having to go back, cut back, and cut back until he finally found some exhaust pipe he could weld on. All the hanger points are all rusted off. And
$5,229, which is more than what I paid for the truck. And it still has the ABS light. It still has the airbag light. It still has all the cosmetic issues. $5,229.32, which I was thinking no matter what, pretty much any truck these days that's a four-wheel drive is worth 10 grand and even much worse shape than that. I probably won't lose very much if I sell it right now, as is. Although, I don't know, I tend to lose money on everything. That I'm at another 5 grand probably to get this thing to a condition that I would like. So, do I quit? Do I not quit? What do you think?
I think what I can do to solve this for you is write you a check for 5 grand, and I can make this ticket go away. In exchange for the title.
Wait, so you're gonna pay me the 5 grand I paid for the truck?
Right.
You're going to tear up this bill?
Yes.
And let me get out of here without losing money?
You'll actually win on this one. I know you don't know how to take that, but...
Yes? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sick?
Yes, I need a truck for the shop, so...
Well, wonderful. All right, well, I have no self-control, which makes this a lot easier because I bought something just like it anyway. But I kind of just wanted to prove that I'm not a complete moron and I can buy something nice. So you want to see it?
Yes.
Here we go.
Is this the same color as Riptide Blue?
It is not, but similar but different. So, Wizard, this is a 2005 Chevrolet Suburban Z71 with 66,000 miles on it. It is a one-owner, lifetime Texas truck, and I bought it for, well, a little less than what the total bill and the total investment in that truck would be right now today, or about the same.
Wow.
$11,000.
That's not bad at all.
For a four-wheel drive, one owner, I think these are just such wonderful trucks. It is not Riptide Blue. It is Bermuda Blue.
Oh, Bermuda Blue.
One owner, lifelong Texas cream puff.
Cream puff? I don't know about that. Look at the... This is a dark hood and a light fender.
Well, it has had a little bit of paint work.
And then you can see some waves right there.
Yeah. So it's a one owner, but it's probably an old person. I'm gonna have all that stuff just made perfect. But it was $11,000 for a 66,000 mile time capsule. And I mean, look under the hood of this thing. That is more like it.
Wow.
Not to rub this in your face since that's your truck now, but I just wanted to show that I can actually go out and buy something that's not a complete turd basket case. Although it was a viewer that emailed me that works at a Subaru dealership in Texas and said, hey, it's not Riptide Blue, but it's close. And well, I just can't help myself. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You see anything obvious?
No, everything looks well cared for. Everything's in its place. Nothing's modified.
Yes. No lights. And then underneath, it is gorgeous.
Wow, it's not even wet underneath.
Nope.
It's amazing.
I'm just a big fan of these for many, many reasons. I guess I'll cover it at home and quit rubbing it in your face since you were so generous and took that. It's a pretty truck, though.
It is, and it's a lot of power. It's fast.
Yeah. Well, so I guess I'll just go home in my Suburban and leave you the truck. And there is one other GM vehicle that I'm going to challenge Van Gogh on a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
The Roadmaster.
Oh, yes.
Roadmaster Estate. So I have lots of GM vehicles that need love. Well, one less. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Well, actually, let me give you a hug. You're not losing me money. Thank
Yay.
you. I love you.
Don't kiss me.
I love you.
Okay, I love you too, Tyler.
Oh, let me tell you, this thing showed up from Texas and it gave me goosebumps with how nice it was. Now, before this, I had my 2005 Escalade ESV Platinum in Riptide Blue. The video where I said that 20 times and you all hated me for it. Well, Actually, I think this one is a little bit better. The Escalade came with factory 20s or 22s later, and even with the advanced ride control system on them, it just doesn't feel as good as something like this with 18-inch wheels on it and nice, cushy Michelin tires. And then the seats on these are just so good, so comfortable, so thick and foamy. And I actually worked at the Chevrolet Cadillac dealership when these were being phased out and the new generation was being phased in, and it felt like a step backwards in the seat department, at least for me. And each generation seems to get worse. I sat in the new 2022 as a rental car, and it felt horribly uncomfortable. I know I've said this many times before, but I just don't understand auto manufacturers and where they're coming from with these new seats that are just so rock hard, and in long distance trips, you definitely feel it, which is why when I get in a really well-preserved GMT 800 like this, I can't help but appreciate it. And the Z71s, well, it is so hard to find one like this that was preserved. The cheaper Suburban obviously wasn't kept up as nice as, say, somebody that had an Escalade. They could have kept it nice. Usually these things were driven into the ground, changed hands 3, 4, 5, 6 times. They're all rusted out. This one being a lifelong Texas truck and a one owner, 67,000 miles, it's kept it so nice. And you know, it is the 5.3 liter compared to the 6.0, not quite 300 horsepower, but I really don't notice the difference that much. 40 more horsepower with the Escalade or Denali with the 6 liter. It doesn't seem that different to me, at least in the seat of the pants feeling. Now obviously the dashboard, there's a lot of hard plastics in this interior, and that is kind of a setback. I do really like the older, old body style GMT 400, especially the pre-95s and that cool kind of retro interior, but you give up a lot of safety. I feel in this one that I could drive my kids around, drive cross country in it, have the reliability, and have like modern safety crumple zones and airbags and that kind of stuff to where it's a relatively safe vehicle versus all the old pre-airbag cars, and you watch the vintage YouTube videos of them crashing up and it's, well, kind of freaky. But I actually do have one of those old pre-airbag cars, kind of the predecessor to this Suburban, what America was driving around in, the Buick Roadmaster Estate Wagon. We're going to check on it, and I actually have decided what I am going to do with it. Oh, I mean, just look at this thing. It's a total time capsule, even with the paintwork, and unfortunately they didn't do a very good job on it. You can see where it's sort of peeling there. It's not matched very well with some fish eyes and such, but the Bermuda blue paint, which I'll never do that again, is just so dang pretty on these. Once again, they didn't really do a very good job taking the cladding off. They just sort of masked and sprayed. I can have that all fixed. To get a low mileage Texas 4-wheel drive, it's just so lucky. Even though I didn't need it, I just absolutely had to have it. It'll clean up a little bit and then enjoy. The paintwork wasn't disclosed. I thought it was all original paint, but it's not. It's fine. It's one thing to deal with. The Roadmaster, well, this was another one where I felt like, ooh, I missed out on a lot of stuff that wasn't disclosed by the seller, but he didn't know that it had been painted on before. And unfortunately, it wasn't done all that well. It looks like it was sort of like a top-down job. They stopped at the wood. But once again, this is another lifelong Texas low-mileage Roadmaster with the LT1 V8, and I kind of thought I got hosed in this thing, paying over 10 grand for it. But some recent Bring a Trailer sales have had me rethinking things. A Roadmaster with similar miles with a lot of issues in the wood and the original paint brought $24,000, and there's some that are bringing even more than that. So prices are skyrocketing on these things. People are finally wising up to how cool these wagons are, so I guess I should be happy that I got one that's a low mileage, rust-free Texas car. And the interior, it does have some wear, but it is certainly serviceable. I really can't complain too much about the interior. And when you see under the hood, that's where I have some hope for this car. I said I was only going to keep one of these, either this Roadmaster or my Mercedes 300 SD. I haven't sold either yet, but you look under the hood and it looks so nice that this car, well, it's probably worth going through the paint again and the wood. And Van Gogh, the folks that have been restoring or really refreshing a lot of cars for me recently, have said they are up for the task of re-wooding my Woody and touching up the blue, so I guess we can head there and drop this thing off. And those guys are really excited about it over there. I don't know what they're doing, but they're enjoying themselves. I was talking about the ride and the seats being so comfortable on the Suburban, but now I'm in the Roadmaster. Oh, these pillow top seats and the Dynaride suspension. It's just so good in this thing. 82,000 miles, 1996, the end of the line right here. Oh, now if I can only get it looking as good as it drives. Oh, Stuart, this thing drives so nice. It is so smooth, so comfy, but
I cannot wait to do this.
Yeah, 96 Roadmaster Estate.
So my parents, my dad drove a Roadmaster all through school. Every year he would go get a new one. He'd trade it, lose money every time, but he'd trade it on a new Roadmaster.
Back in the day when you would do stuff like that. And
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ride in the third row seat facing backwards?
Yes. I can remember riding back there a million times. My twin brother and I fight.
I just love the technology on these things. I mean, not only you have a tailgate like a truck and then you can fold it all down and haul a sheet of plywood, but also you have just a normal, you know, barn door.
Oh, no, that's super cool. Wow, this is going to be so much fun.
I was very happy to get one again, but I was a little disappointed when it showed up. As you can see, I knew about the faded wood, and I know you guys do kind of the PPFs and a little bit of wrapping and that kind of stuff, so GM still makes this wood to where you can redo it, right?
Yeah, we'll take care of that.
But the bummer part was the paint. I thought this was original paint. It's a lifelong Texas car, no rust, only 82,000 miles, but it's clearly been repainted and it's dull. Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can do. We'll do our best.
I don't know if you wet sand and bring it back, or you may just end up redoing it, maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna try to wet sand it.
Okay.
See if we can save it for you. Because even though it's been painted, you know, most people kind of expect it. But as long as it looks good,
right?
Let's see what we can come up with.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted on it. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I don't know how you find these cool cars.
Well, you say that now as this comes off in like little teeny tiny pieces.
Yeah.
But I guess you've dealt with that playing with PPF, right?
Yeah, we have some secrets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the interior too. I mean, the leather's there. It's a little dry, but I think it would come back. The carpets, I don't know about these stains, but maybe.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Maybe.
Yeah. One of my biggest secrets is I tell the guys to do it and I just leave. And then I come back and no, that's my secret. I'm kidding.
There you go. Well, I'll take some before pans, so when this thing's done in, you know, a few hours, right?
Yeah.
And when it's done in a few hours, we'll have a really cool before and after. And I think it's worth it. Considering what they're going for now, I think I did okay. Even though it sounds crazy to pay 10 grand for one of these things. The first one I ever bought was like $4,000 for the same miles and nicer condition. They just skyrocketed in value, but so is everything, I suppose. So thank you very much.
This will be fun.
Have fun.
I'm excited.
Well, it was a GM full day. All GM vehicles. You just got the tail end of it. Yeah. Anyway, funny how that works. Thank you for watching.